For our entire history, losing an adult tooth has been, well, a permanent problem. We've had to solve it with artificial replacements. But what if that was all about to change? Today, we are diving into a totally groundbreaking drug from researchers in Japan that could unlock our body's own hidden ability to regrow teeth.
Just let that sink in for a second. A fall, a sports injury, maybe just some bad luck with decay. None of it would mean a lifetime with a gap or a costly implant. I know, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But the science is very, very real, and it all comes down to a really surprising biological secret.
So look at this contrast. We humans, we get two sets of teeth. Baby teeth, then our permanent ones. And that's it. Game over. Meanwhile, you've got crocodiles that can replace a single tooth up to 50 times. And sharks are just constantly cycling through new sets their whole lives. Nature has clearly already cracked the code for tooth regeneration. So why not us? Well, the crazy answer might be that we actually can. We've just forgotten how.
And this is where the story gets really wild. See, this research isn't about inventing some brand new technology from scratch. It's about unlocking a potential that's already lying dormant right inside our own bodies.
This is the big idea right here. Researchers now believe that pretty much all of us are born with the genetic blueprint, these little starting points or buds, for a whole third set of teeth. It's just that for some reason, they never develop. They get switched off really early in our lives. And you know what? We can actually see the proof of this out in the real world.
Yeah, it's a condition called hyperdontia. It's when someone grows more than the usual number of teeth. For the lead researcher on this project, Katsu Takahashi, this was like a huge clue. It suggested that, hey, for some people, those third set tooth buds don't stay switched off. So that led to the big question. What's holding these buds back for the other 99% of us? And could we figure out how to release them whenever we wanted?
And that is exactly what these scientists went and did. They hunted down the biological switch, that little genetic instruction in our DNA that basically says, okay, stop growing teeth now, and they found it. It all comes down to a single gene.
That gene is called USAG1, and its whole job is to create a protein that slams the brakes on tooth development. Seriously, think of it like a biological handbrake. Once our adult teeth are all in place, this protein shows up and just yanks that brake, stopping those third set tooth buds from ever getting their chance to grow.
So, how does this new miracle drug actually work? The process is surprisingly simple and, honestly, just beautiful. So, step 1, you've got that USAG1 protein, the inhibitor, blocking growth. Then the new antibody drug is introduced. It's specifically designed to hunt down and tackle that one protein. It basically neutralizes it, which is like releasing the handbrake on a car. And once that USAG1 protein is out of the way, the dormant tooth bud finally gets the green light to start growing, just like our other teeth did all those years ago.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Here's the lead researcher, Katsu Takahashi, summing it all up perfectly. The theory was solid. They knew it worked on a genetic level. The real test, the big question, was whether they could turn that knowledge into a real, working treatment for actual people.
All right, so how does a mind-blowing idea like this actually move from a lab into a doctor's office? Well, like any new treatment, it has to go through a super rigorous testing process, and that always starts with animals.
And the results from those early trials were just, wow, incredibly promising. The team tested the drug on mice and ferrets, animals that actually share some key dental traits with us. And in both cases, the antibody did its job perfectly. It neutralized that USAG1 protein and triggered new teeth to grow. And, this is the really crucial part, they didn't see any significant side effects. That was the green light they needed to move on to the most important step of all, human trials.
The speed of this research has been just unbelievable. They only confirmed the role of this key gene back in 2021. And right now, as of September 2024, the very first human trials are underway at Kyoto University Hospital. Next up, in 2025, the plan is to focus on kids who have congenital tooth deficiencies. And if everything goes to plan, the researchers are actually targeting 2030 for this to be a widely available treatment.
Now, while this tooth regrowing drug is an absolute game changer, it's important to know that it's not happening in a vacuum. It's actually part of a much bigger and honestly just as exciting shift in the world of medicine.
So let me introduce you to the field of regenerative dentistry. The whole idea is simple, but it's totally revolutionary. Instead of just replacing damaged parts of our body with artificial things, fillings, crowns, implants, the goal is to activate our body's own power to heal and rebuild the original biological tissue.
So you see, the work being done on USGG1 is the perfect example of this in action. It's not about putting a fake tooth in. It's about telling the body, hey, you already know how to do this. Go ahead and grow a new one. And that same exact principle is being applied all across this field.
Scientists are coming at this problem from every possible angle. They're using stem cells to try and regenerate tooth pulp. They're engineering these tiny scaffolds to help bone regrow. They're using growth factors to speed up healing. The gene therapy we're talking about today is just one really powerful piece of this incredible regenerative puzzle.
So let's bring this all back down to earth. What could this research actually mean for us, for you? And how soon could it totally change the way we think about our teeth? 2030. That's the goal. That's the year these researchers are working their tails off for. And if they pull it off, the entire world of dentistry could look completely different in just a handful of years.
So who gets to benefit? Well, the first focus is rightly on people with congenital conditions, those who are born missing some or all of their teeth. For them, this would be absolutely life-changing. But the team's ultimate goal, their big dream, is to offer this as a real treatment for anyone who's lost a tooth, giving us a true biological alternative to dentures and implants.
And that really just leaves us with one final, huge thought. This research doesn't just challenge the idea that tooth loss is permanent, it challenges our whole concept of biological limits. I mean, if we can learn how to identify and switch off the genetic brakes that stop growth in one part of the body, what other regenerative superpowers might we be able to unlock next? That's a question that could literally redefine the future of medicine.